Welcome back to the 305 Gridiron. Today's show, we're going to talk about whether or not we will be buying another sweatshirt like this at the end of the season, or are we going to be yet again looking at a January without Dolphins football? Josh and I are about set to break it all down for you. Will the Miami Dolphins make the playoffs, or are we in deep, deep trouble that's going to lead to another coaching change? Hello, happy Thursday, August 21st, 2025. Josh and I are here with you once again on the 305 Gridiron to talk none other than Miami Dolphins football. On today's show, we're so excited because we are breaking down the 2025 schedule. Where are the hard stretches? Where are the easy stretches, if there is such a thing? And what are the surprise losses? Could we potentially see a surprise win? We'll have to see about that. I don't know. I don't remember all of the scores here, even though I have them right in front of my face. So Josh, man, this is going to be make it or break it season for Mike McDaniel and Chris Grier. I believe both of them would be gone if we don't make the playoffs. But before we get into it, like, what's your feeling about this season, even before you see the opponents? Do you like this team? Do you hate this team?
Well, okay, so I don't hate this team. I have questions about this team. I am worried about a position or two, being the glaring, obvious position room in the quarterback, right, or the cornerback. Sorry.
Some would say quarterback is a problem.
Yeah, well, a lot of our fans would say quarterback as well, but I'm actually I'm a Tua fan, so spoiler alert. But yeah, I'm more. There are parts that I'm worried about. I'm hoping that some of the deficiencies get covered up by better play at other positions that we upgraded, i.e., linebacker, defensive line, safety position. Yeah, we'll see. This is going to be a fine margin season, right? So if we stay healthy, big if. And we do what we're supposed to do. We take care of the teams that we're supposed to take care of. We play the other ones close where the bounce of the ball hopefully will go our way. This could be a playoff season, or it could be we're blowing this whole thing up. And I could see it going both ways. So I'll be real curious to see how it ends up for us. What about you?
Yeah, man, NFL YouTubers across the platform do not have a lot of faith in us. I can tell you that much, especially the ones who are not Dolphins fans. Mm-hmm. But fans outside of our organization, outside of our fan base, think that we are probably finishing fourth in the division this year. So there's not a lot of hype around this team outside of us hopeful fans, which if you're not hopeful as a fan, then why the hell are you even a fan? Like, that just seems like torture to me.
I mean, what does fan stand for? Fanatic, right?
Fanatic, yeah. I mean, so I do not have the highest of expectations for this team this year. I do think that the holes at corner and the depth at offensive line could be a major problem for us. Yeah. But you know what? Sometimes less expectations leads to more success. So hopefully that is the case for us this year. I mean, if we can get Tua for a full season, I don't think he wins 13 games. I don't think he's a 13-game winner, but he's certainly a 10-game winner. And we have 18 weeks now, so we have even more time to get to 10 wins.
Yep.
We do have some easy stretches here. Easy. I know, listen, we don't take any team lightly.
Except for the Jets.
But we do play teams like the Saints and the Browns. We got the Colts. These are the other three teams out of like the bottom five. These three teams are along with us when other people are predicting the bottom five. So, one of us has to lose. So, yeah, I say we get right into it. We actually face off with one of those kind of lesser opponents, as many people would think, in the Indianapolis Colts. Mm-hmm. They just named Daniel Jones their starter in what was not much of a competition. Yeah. This whole situation is very interesting. Daniel Jones was on the practice squad for the Vikings last year, and then he ends up signing with the Colts in the offseason, and all the talking heads were like, the Colts are bringing him in because they think he's going to start. And I thought to myself, how the hell is that possible? Who's bringing in Daniel Jones to start? And sure as shit, here we are.
Yeah.
4 months, 5 months later, and Daniel Jones is named the starter over Anthony Richardson. I get that Richardson's had his issues and he hasn't been lived up to the hype, but
Not even
geez,
close.
dude, Daniel Jones?
Yeah, no, honestly, I thought the position battle was going to be won by Jameis Winston, right? I mean, that's who I thought was going to win it. I mean,
Well, they didn't sign him. They
huh?
should have.
Wait,
Colts.
who signed him?
The Giants.
The Giants. I'm getting him mixed up. Never mind.
That's fine though, because the Colts should have signed him, and he probably would have won a starting position.
Yeah, sorry about that. I got those teams mixed up from my head. Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I don't think they had a right choice, right? I think this is one of those things where they're going to start with one, and if he fails, then they'll go to the other one. But Anthony Richardson, man, has his black eyes. I mean, completion percentage, I think, was below 50%. I think it was like in the 42 range, 43 range or something last year and the year before. I mean, that's horrible, right?
Yeah.
And with the offensive weapons that they have, you would think be a check down merchant, at least get your completion percentage high, but no. So, it'll be interesting to see, right? I'm curious to see what you have us doing here, though.
Yeah, there's a lot of hype around their rookie tight end, Tyler Warren, who was taking the pick after us in this draft, who many Dolphins fans would have hoped we would have picked, but who knows? And a lot of feedback, I'll say, on YouTube about how Daniel Jones can't even hit this guy, who's like the tallest and biggest target you could possibly see, and he overthrew him by a country mile, which is absolutely insane.
I hope that continues. Right.
Yeah, exactly. Hope it continues in week 1. Just to quickly look at their first 3 draft picks, they also took an edge rusher out of Ohio State, JT Tuamalo, and a corner out of Minnesota, Justin Wally. So they're looking to shore up the defense. Their offense is pretty good. They got a guy in Jonathan Taylor at running back who I think is pretty good. Their receiver core, underrated, I feel like. Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce, and Josh Downs can all ball. So I don't see this being as easy as a lot of fans think it's going to be. We were on another podcast on Tuesday, kind of chopping it up with some other Dolphins, and one of them thought that this would be a difficult game because this is the first game since their owner Jim Irsay died. There's going to be a lot of emotions behind it. It's in Indianapolis, and I took that into account too. I also agree with him. I think there is going to be a lot of emotion. I just think talent-wise, we are far better than them. So I actually have us going 24-21 with a win on this one.
Oh, yeah, that's close, man. Yeah, and for a lot of the things you said, I can understand why some of the pundits and some of the media heads and stuff like that think that, the Colts have the morale juice, if you will, to eke out a victory here, right? I just don't see it happening, right? Because I think you live and die by your quarterback, and we know this all too familiar. It's all too familiar to us. And I don't like either of their quarterbacks. Neither of them are good. Yeah. Right. No. They have an amazing running back when healthy, right? Which is something us Dolphins fans are very familiar with saying. They have, to your point, their weapons, tight end, their draft pick at tight end, and their kind of top 2, maybe 3 wide receivers are good. Above serviceable, right? And can contribute when given the opportunity. I just don't see their quarterback being able to give them that opportunity. And then you factor in their defense. I'm not a fan of their defense. I mean, last year I was a bigger fan of their defense. I kind of touted it as a little bit of a no-name defense, if you will, even though they all have names. They crapped the bed again. Right. And, they had some ups, they had some downs, more downs than ups. And I think that continues this year. I'm not a huge fan of their coaching staff either. So I have us winning a little more comfortably, 24-17.
Yeah, I mean, their starting defensive unit is largely the same. They added Charvarius Ward and Cam Bynum at safety, who looks like those two are going to get the start. But everybody else they've added via the draft or via free agency is looking to be a backup at this point. So I think Daniel Jones is the difference there. Tua versus Daniel Jones. If you're head-to-head quarterbacks, I mean, no matter how much you hate Tua, there's no way you're picking Daniel Jones.
No. And you look at, and that's kind of the exercise we did, right? Where I went quarterback to quarterback, tight end, wide receiver, O-line. They lost some stuff on the O-line. One of their big guys retired, I think, who's going to be a Hall of Famer. And then I did the same thing on the defense, and there were too many dubs in our bucket versus them. So there was, I couldn't do it. Even if it's the first game since Irsay, I understand that. I think they might score the first 17 points, maybe, or the first 10 points. It might be 10-0, right?
It might be.
And then we'll start, settling in. We know Tua's going to be here, right?
Yep.
I mean, unless he gets injured walking to his bathroom or something, right? He's
I mean, don't say that. Now he just fell down the stairs as you said that.
Yeah,
I mean,
hear it. I just felt it. Yeah. But so at least we'll see our starting offense, and I just think our weapons are too good for them to consistently cover.
A bit of a different story in week 2. So the New England Patriots are a rival. We play them twice a year. They are part of the AFC East. The Gerard Mayo experiment only lasted 1 season. So much for having that contingency plan. Yeah. And I am blanking on the new coach's name. Vrabel, right?
Yep.
Yeah, Mike Vrabel
from Tennessee.
Yep, spent a year out of the coaching circle. Comes back, takes over the New England roster.
I love him.
And the roster quite turned over. I count 4 new starters on offense, 5 new starters on defense. That's quite a bit of turnover. But I do think they've made a lot of good moves here. I mean, they have a 3rd-round guard that they drafted. They took Will Campbell in the 1st round at left tackle to fill that spot. Travion Henderson at the running back position. They picked up another wide receiver in the 3rd round in Kyle Williams to add to Stephon Diggs and Mac Hollins, who they just added. Then those guys pair with Demario Douglas, who I'm a big fan of. I know that there's not a huge amount of Demario Douglas fans out there, but I really like him. And then it all boils down to, on offense, how much better has Drake May gotten between year 1 and year 2? If there's significant improvement, because he was pretty good last year. I'm not going to say very good. I mean, the Patriots fans will be like, it was very good last year. I don't agree.
In comparison to what you had in Mac Jones, he was an all-star, right?
Yeah. But hey, if this kid has improved 25%, let's say, this is a close matchup. I don't think this New England team, if you're a Dolphins fan, you're looking at it as an instant win, like because of last year, right? Which it was last year. We manhandled them. It wasn't really close. I think it's a different story this year.
Yeah, no, honestly, I think their first 3 picks, like you said, Will Campbell, Henderson at running back, and Kyle Williams out of Washington State. I had Travion Henderson as my number 1 running back in the draft. Now, I know I got blasted for it. I just think this guy does everything well. I mean, exceedingly well. He blocks, he catches, he runs, he power, speed. He is amazing. I loved him coming out of Ohio State. Kyle Williams was someone I wanted Miami to take if he was available past round 3. I had a round 4 grade on him, but big, huge fan of him. And Will Campbell, where I think he's a 10-year Pro Bowl at the guard position, they are playing him at the tackle position. Fine. I think he'll be really good. Yeah. I think Drake May has taken those 25% steps forward. My brother and my very close friend are both Patriots fans, and I hear it through the grapevine how well he's doing in practice, and I watch highlights of their games in preseason when he has played, and some of their stuff that gets forwarded to me from those Patriots fans with a big middle finger, and he looks sharp, right? The problem is he doesn't. In my opinion, he still doesn't handle pressure well. And what I think our defense is going to do at a top 5, top 6 level in this year's rankings is we're going to put a lot of pressure on the opposing quarterbacks, no matter who they are, outside of maybe Jackson from Baltimore and Josh Allen from Buffalo. But we'll get to those in a little bit. But
running quarterbacks always kill us, man.
Yes, they do. And Drake May is sneaky athletic too. I mean, he does. He's got. You can't just think he's not. He's not a Tom Brady. He's got a good arm and he's got some legs on him. I think this is a close game. I have us winning 24-21. So we're 2-0 to start the season. Mainly because very similarly to how I feel about the Bills, where I will not give us a win against the Bills until we do it. We have, with Tua as quarterback, we haven't lost against the Patriots since he's been here. So there's no reason for me it'll be closer. It won't be blowouts, I don't think, at all this year in either of those games. But I'm not going to give us a loss until they beat us. Just like I won't give us a win against the Bills. Spoiler alert for 2 of those that we're going to talk about here in a little bit. They're losses until we can prove that we can beat them.
Yeah. And, the offensive line is going to be tested here in this one. They spent mega money to bring in Milton Williams there.
I'm not a fan.
From Philadelphia. They put up to bring in Akiris Tonga from Arizona, right? Yep. They have Robert Spillane came in from Vegas. Harold Landry came in from Tennessee. Carlton Davis came in from. I mean, they brought in guys who play hard-nosed football because they have a hard-nosed coach.
Those are culture changers. Yeah.
Right. Now, we've spent the entire offseason going from having an agile focus on the offensive line to having a power focus on the offensive line. So we're going to see very early on, did we pick up the right pieces to make that shift? And we'll see. I also have us winning this one. I think it's 28-24. I also think it's very close. But because our defense is what I expect to be pretty poor this year, I have a lot of teams scoring a lot of points against us. So I went 28-24 against the Patriots.
Perfect.
First primetime game of the year is in week 3 against those Buffalo Bills that you just mentioned before. In Buffalo. So, hey, at least we're not in Buffalo when it's frigid. We get Buffalo early. All right. In primetime, which we're not notoriously very good at.
No, we're not.
Yeah, I am not even going to waste a ton of breath here. To your point, I don't think we match up very well with Buffalo. I think Josh Allen owns us. He's in the way Tom Brady owned the Jets and the way Aaron Rodgers owned the Bears. I think that Josh Allen probably has a key to our stadium. Until we can prove that we can beat them, I'm not picking us to win. So I have us getting shellacked here 42-21.
Yeah, same. Right. I'm not going to waste too much breath here. I think with the team as the Dolphins team as it is currently constructed, if we had a marketably better cornerback room, I say this is a 50-50 game. I really do. Right. Yeah. Because I love our safeties and our front seven. I am terrified about what our cornerbacks are going to do, barring any kind of move. We signed Asante Samuel Jr., which he was in the building, I think yesterday or the day before. And if we make maybe word is we're trying to drum up some trades, try to, maybe get rid of some players so we don't have to, a player in particular, so we don't have to pay said player when the year is over due to injury history. We are looking to, turn that into another cornerback to bolster the room. If those happen, I think my score here will change a little bit. I still think we take the L, but I have us losing substantially, 17-31. I mean, it's not even close, and it's and like kind of game where they pull their starters in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, it's too late for me to even adjust the score, even if we add corners now. I mean, you should have done this forever ago. Why are we waiting until now? I mean, by the time they bring a corner in, there's going to be 1 week left to prepare, 1 week to learn the scheme, and then go ahead because they're going to start.
Well, you better hope they start. Yeah.
If they come in and they're not starting, like how bad are they? Because our corner room is terrible.
Yeah, I will say, I mean, it is, very typical for when all of the cuts happen. There are quite a few players that are available. So this is a normal thing. So I can understand why we might not be pulling any significant moves until the cut downs happen, so we can see what cornerbacks flooded the market. I think if we can sign Asante Samuel Jr., I think that's a no-brainer. I think you do that, you give him whatever the hell he wants. Yeah. Sure, you want a house, you want a car, you want $17 million a year. Sure, we'll give you a 2-year deal, $17 million each. Go, see you later. And then you see what shakes free, and then you start making some trades if you need to. But yeah, to your point, none of it matters. It might.
And I don't want to spend too much time on Asante Samuel, but it worries me a little bit. One, that it appears he's holding out for an amount of money, but it almost feels like he's holding out so he doesn't have to partake in training camp. You just finished your first contract, and you're already trying to hold out of training camp. 2, the things his dad is yapping about in the media about how he's essentially airing business conversations to the public. And we are trying to build a new culture here, and that's not really the culture we're looking to build. That being said, desperate times call for desperate measures. Maybe it's a 1-year, $12 million deal or some crap like that just to get somebody in and play corner. Yeah. All right, dude. So we both have us at 2-1 up to this stage. 3 weeks into the season, we head into another primetime game, back-to-back primetime games, but this time we're in the 305. We're down in Miami for a Monday nighter against the New York Jets. Another team in our division who has a new coach in Aaron Glenn coming on over from the Detroit Lions. Not as much hype around this coaching hire as there is around the Vrabel hire, even though it's very similar in my eyes, except for Vrabel's been a head coach before and Aaron Glenn hasn't, but they're both returning to their playing teams. New York Jets, man. I'm going to let you go first. I went first in the last three. I want you to go first. What do you see about this game here?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Jets. I think anyone that watches the show knows that I think they are a continuous dumpster fire. I like Glenn as a head coach. I don't think he shouldn't have gotten the amount of buzz, in my humble opinion, that he received. But they're starting Fields. They made the trade for Fields.
Yep.
I am not a fan of his in any way, shape, or form. Not at all. Yeah, I think I've watched film on him from this preseason. I've seen practice highlights. I have fellow coworkers and friends of mine that are Jets fans, and nobody's happy because he can't complete a pass. He takes sacks. He's got happy feet. He apparently hears ghosts, so he doesn't keep his eyes downfield when the pocket's closing in. I didn't and still have never understood the infatuation with Fields. I understand he's athletic. He's kind of an athletic freak in a lot of ways, but he's not a good quarterback, in my opinion, in any way, shape, or form. Name a time where he's been good outside of maybe a handful of games where he's been consistently good. You can't. There has not been a stretch of games where he has been even a serviceable quarterback. And I think the Jets are making changes. They're doing culture. They are in a full rebuild, in my humble opinion. They got a new coaching staff. They got a new front office. They, in a lot of ways, they're making culture changes, which I think if it's done right, the Jets could get good quick because they have good players, right? They have Garrett Wilson on offense. They have Bryce Hall as the running back. Breece Hall. Yeah, thank you. Who I think they're going to run the wheels off of and then let him go because they don't want to pay him. They have a good a decent offensive line. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, they got Membu, right?
They did
in the draft.
It's a big addition.
He's massive, both in stature and in talent. Their defense is good. I like Sauce Gardner. They just gave him a buttload of money. Like, that's great. I'm happy for him. I think they are paying and drafting the core fundamental pieces that you need to rebuild a team. However, the Jets are going to do Jets things. And what do when quite a few decent quarterbacks are available? They trade for or sign Justin Fields. And no, not good. So I have us winning in a rebound blowout, 31-14.
I think this is the first time we're going to disagree, not on the score, but on the feelings around Justin Fields. I actually like Justin Fields. Listen, he ran for 1,150 yards his sophomore season. That's nothing to sneeze at. And for a team that struggles against running quarterbacks, kind of has me a little concerned, if I'm being honest. Especially running back,
how many passing yards?
Running behind Membu, not that many. I had it open just a second ago. 2,200 that year, 2,500 the year after. When he played for the Steelers, he was marketably better at the quarterback position. So I think the coaching is going to matter a lot. I don't know who their offensive coordinator or their quarterback's coach is, but I think that's going to make a big difference on how performant he is. Because with the Steelers, he threw 66%, 5 touchdowns to 1 interception, and had 5 rushing touchdowns. So that's 10 touchdowns to 1 interception. He never had that good of numbers when he was with the Bears. So, I think the version of Justin Fields we get is going to largely depend on, like, how's he being coached, right? Is he being coached to think too much and to be a pocket passer and to, be the next Josh Allen who can sling it and run it? Or is he being coached to do what he's good at? If you don't see your first 2 reads take off and get a first down, right? Like, I think it's largely going to depend on that. And ironically, he had fewer rushing yards for the Steelers too. But it was smarter about when he ran than he was with the Bears. And of course, he wasn't working with much over in Chicago.
Of course not.
Their quarterback struggles are well documented. So
legendary. Yes.
Yeah, so the Jets bring in Justin Fields, obviously. They bring in Josh Reynolds at wide receiver to pair up with Garrett Wilson. They still have Alan Lazard, and they signed Tyler Johnson as well. Armand Membu is obviously the big addition in the draft. As somebody we loved and we were kind of hoping would fall to us early on in the draft process, and then we quickly realized that there was no chance he was going to fall to us, sadly. So that stunk. But Mason Taylor, somebody we didn't talk about yet, the great Jason Taylor.
I wanted him so bad, dude.
It's his son, I believe. I got that right? Mason Taylor, who comes in to play tight end for the Jets out of the U, I believe. Where was he out of? I don't remember where he's at. It doesn't
Yes,
matter.
the U.
But Mason Taylor is the new tight end for the Jets. I think we can give him that hat already because the other tight ends on the roster are worse than ours, if any, which is insane because we have the worst tight ends ever. Still, while I do think the Jets are going to be harder, similar to the Patriots, I do think they're going to be harder. I think their quarterback is better than anything they've had the past few years. I think their offensive line is retooled. I think their defense is still good. I am a big believer in Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner, and Breece Hall. I think that's like
Same.
a trifecta right there. I still have us winning this one, but 27-21. I'm not as confident in the score as you are.
Yeah. No, that's all great points. I'm not a fan of Fields, and I think he makes, he lets mistakes snowball. And against our cornerbacks are hot garbage. I think we can all agree.
We may make him look really good.
I'd see with our front seven, I think we're going to make them look really bad. We have speed at the linebacker position.
Yeah.
We have depth at the linebacker position. We have speed and power across the defensive line. We have depth at both of those across the defensive line. So we can just constantly rotate. And I think Weaver is a smart defensive coordinator. Honestly, I've never been a fan of Fields, and I just don't think he's going to be good in the Jets. Maybe I'm wrong, right?
I think this is a perfect opportunity to deploy the 3 safety package and have one of them just stay with Fields. If you take away his run game, let's see how he performs. And I don't like to poo-poo on quarterbacks. They get poo-pooed on enough. Let's enough of that. So on to week 5, man. So we have ourselves at 3-1 up until this point, going into Carolina to face the Carolina Panthers. Luckily, that's not that far of a journey from Miami. So heading up to Carolina, we're facing the Carolina Panthers. This is a team that is a little bit scary because Bryce Young was kind of balling last year at the end of the year. And we don't know if he can carry that over to this year. It's the same coaching staff for maybe the first time ever for him. The same scheme. Like, Bryce Young could be that guy who ends up being like written off as a bust really early on and remakes his career. Yeah. How do you see this game going against Carolina?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a low-scoring game because I think, coming from a big win in prime time against the Jets, going to the Panthers, we might be overlooking them a little bit, given their national kind of coverage struggles, if you will, right? But I think the way Breece Hall ended last season, if he can, I haven't really followed them at all. So if he can kind of keep the momentum going, I mean, Treshaun Wharton, the defensive tackle, Michael Jackson, the cornerback, they re-signed him. They gave an extension to Jace Horn. They brought in safety Trayvon Mooring, who was someone that I wanted Miami to take. Patrick Jones, the outside linebacker. I mean, they added some pieces, right? And which is why I think, this is going to be a close game, and it's going to be a relatively low-scoring game in this day and age of the NFL. I have us winning 17-13. I think it's a late kind of, defensive slugfest with maybe like a Minkah Fitzpatrick turnover, gets us to midfield, and then Tua takes over and goes on a touchdown run kind of, drive kind of thing. I'm not really sure how it happens, but 17-13, we take the dub.
Yeah, this team restacked their defense in the offseason. I'm just looking at just tons of colors on the defense, which, if you're familiar with our lads' depth charts, if you're a different color than blue, that means you're an addition this season. And their defense is just filled with them. So completely restacked the defense. We get our old boy Robert Hunt coming back, or we're coming back to him to give him a visit, a move I know Chris Greer regrets. I know it. He has to after last season. Listen. The key here for Miami is we have to stop the run. Chuba Hubbard, holy crap, man.
Yeah, I have him on my dynasty and my fantasy leagues. Yeah, he's good.
This dude came from just being like a rotational player. It was in and out. It was behind Christian McCaffrey for a season, I think. And then Christian McCaffrey gets traded. Everybody's like, what the heck are they doing? What are they going to do? And Chuba Hubbard just explodes. They picked up Rico Dowdle to add a sense of that 1-2 punch, that thunder and lightning that you hate to call. They got Bryce Young. They got him a new weapon in Tet McMillan. They have not been fantastic at drafting wide receivers, by the way. So hopefully this one works out better for them.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about Tet. Jesus. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, Carolina is tougher than they look. I think Canales is a really good coach so far. He was really good with Baker in Tampa Bay. And I think that he has been, even though he started rough last year with Carolina in the beginning of the year, you could see towards the end of the season, things started to click with the team. Things started to click with Bryce. They had momentum. I'm a little nervous about that. We'll see where they are by week 5 of this season.
Yeah.
For now, I have us walking away with a 10-point win, 24-14 against Carolina Panthers.
That's a good score. That's a real good score.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's take a little bit of break. We're at to week 5. We both have us at 4-1 up to this point. I just want to take a second to welcome in the guys who are here, helping us grow by being here and chatting with us. Finn Spin, aka the Mad Greek. Thanks so much for stopping by, man. Yeah, seeing. Listen, I was at a Bills Jets game when Jason Taylor was playing for the Jets, and then they came around and shook everybody's hands, and I was like, Jason, I can't see you in green, bro.
No, it's so wrong.
See you in green.
It's
awful.
I hate it. I hate it.
Awful. So shout out to give Finn Spin a follow too. He's also on YouTube, starting out. Love his content. You got to go. Yeah. I mean, it's unique.
It is awesome. It's awesome.
It's hard to be unique on YouTube, and
it is.
Finn Spin's content is unique. It's fantastic.
Yep.
And then Balak I don't know if I'm saying that right, boys. So let me know. Training camp is in the books. We have one last chance for these guys to make the roster here in preseason week 3 coming up. Absolutely can't imagine being the one that has to cut these guys. That seems like the most awful job in the universe, if I'm being honest. So big shout out to you, man. Thank you for joining us here.
Appreciate you guys joining.
Yeah, appreciate you guys so much. So we are talking the 2025 schedule predictions. We are through 5 weeks so far. We have the Dolphins going 4-1. We have them beating the Colts, beating the Patriots, losing to the Bills, beating the Jets, and beating the Panthers. So week 6 brings in an especially interesting challenge. Justin Herbert and the LA Chargers fly across the land of the United States to Miami, Florida to take on the Miami Dolphins on October 12th at 1 p.m. This is a game, bro. This is the first game in my eyes, because of the Bills game, it's a division, whatever. This is where I'm looking right here. Do we win this one? Do we have the cojones to get a win against a team that just flew across the damn country? Many consider them to be significantly better than us. Their coach is definitely better than ours.
Yeah, very much so.
Can the Dolphins walk away with a win against the Chargers in week 6?
No, we can't.
Oh,
yeah, man. No, we can't. And I understand. Herbert, Tua, always going to be linked because he was there for us. We chose Tua over Herbert. I understand it. Herbert had a phenomenal record-breaking rookie season.
Yeah.
And is a amazing athlete, has a cannon for a shoulder, is a really good quarterback, right? I think the difference here is the coaching staff, right? Yeah. I think you said it best. Harbaugh is like night and day better, in my opinion, than Mike McDaniel in a lot of things. Mainly in experience, more so than anything else. They retooled, man. Mekhi Becton, Khalil Mack resigned, Tyler Conklin at tight end. They signed a new center, Deshaun Phillips, which was a big special teams linebacker guy. Trey Lance. I know he won't be starting, but if there's an injury, right? Elijah Molden, the cornerback. So they made some. They made some good moves, in my opinion.
Revamped the running back room, too, with Amarian Hampton and Najee Harris. Yeah.
Yep, they sure did. And Hampton is a guy that I'm very high on, and I was very high on coming out of the draft. Mm-hmm. He was my number 3 running back behind the one that our fellow Patriots took, who I had as RB1 just slightly above Ashton Genty.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, I have us losing 21-27 in a close game, but I think this – it's like a fourth quarter meltdown kind of game, right? We might be leading getting into the fourth, for example. Couple 3-and-outs. They make a drive, score a touchdown. We can't respond. We lose the game. Like, that's the kind of game I can see it here.
This is the only game where we both came up with the same score. Now, we did these separately, and then we inserted them into our show notes. So there was no looking at Josh's score or him looking at my score. We both came up with a 21-27 loss here. And I am, for the same reasons, is that this game to me was super tight, And normally I would give the advantage to the home team, but we don't really
Mhm.
have that much of a home field advantage. So I gave the advantage to the coaching staff, and the better coaching staff is with the LA Chargers. And listen, I know my challenges with having Mike McDaniel back this year. I'm not a
Mhm.
fan of bringing him back after last year's meltdown.
Yeah.
But after Justin Herbert's rookie season, to go back to him, he's been average at best. I mean, he's been a Trevor Lawrence level of average since that huge season. And people will always point to injuries, and it's like, okay, but what do you point to when you talk about Tua? Injuries. So, like, I mean,
Exactly.
the goalpost keeps moving on this battle between Herbert and Tua that neither of them even wants to be a part of. Interesting.
How convenient.
Yeah. So the Chargers are just tough all around. They have a really good defense. They got rid of Joey Bosa, who I felt like honestly was holding the defense back at that point.
Yeah.
They have a new running game with Omarion Hampton. I think Najee Harris still has something left in the tank in the right system, which
got a chip on his shoulder, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
Harbaugh's and running backs are the right system, no matter what your name is.
Very much so.
They bring back Keenan Allen, right?
Mm-hmm.
They drafted that kid Trey Harris in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
Lad McConkey was a second round pick last year who just
Such
lit up the league. 1,100 yards in his rookie season.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we have what it takes. This is like the second team with a significantly solid passing attack that our corners are going to have to face.
Yeah.
And I think these are the games that we lose the most, is anything with a significant passing presence on the other side.
It's terrifying. It's terrifying. And, where I think our defensive front seven, right? I think we restacked, we retooled, we got depth. Yeah. We're fast. We're strong. We're disciplined. We have really good players at just about every position across the front seven. I think that is going to keep this game close. But our cornerbacks, and this is going to be a reoccurring theme on the show, in my opinion, and for the foreseeable future on the show, our cornerbacks are horrible. I mean, just because Jack Jones or whatever, that's his name, right? Jack Jones.
Yeah, Jack Jones. We don't even know their names. That's not terrible.
Just because he is a standout in practice. He was not on a team for a reason, right? I know he's got talent. He's got off the field issues. I understand that. But, this is terrifying as fans of a team to go into a season with this kind of cornerback room, right? So I think this is going to be a real interesting game. We're going to keep it close. I think our safeties and our defensive front seven keep it close. Our cornerbacks give it up at the end.
Second loss of the year for our predictions here. So we're at 4-2 up to this point after week 6, which I would sign up for, honestly.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Going into week 7, we face another team that would be considered one of those bottom feeder teams of the league that we should have an advantage over. They do not have a significant passing attack unless you consider Joe Flacco a significant passer. So by week 7, it's not going to be Flacco starting for the Cleveland Browns anymore. Let's be honest. We're in Cleveland. That's a bit of a worry for me. It's mid-October in Cleveland. It could be cold, but it could also be warm. With this weather anymore, who the hell knows?
Yeah, who the hell knows? It feels like fall here in Connecticut. So
here as well in New York. I do not see us having a struggle with this team. I don't like to do big blowout predictions against other teams because I like to give respect to everybody, and it's the beginning of the season. But I'm sorry, I don't see it. Mason Graham, Carson Swessinger, great additions. Quinshot Judkins would be a great addition if he wasn't already in legal trouble. They have no quarterback. If you have 7 quarterbacks on the roster, you have no quarterbacks on the roster. 31-17. I think we shellacked the Browns.
Okay.
It's a big win for us.
Yeah. I mean, I say, oh, wow. I have us winning 24-10. So that's the same, just about the same spread.
Same gap. Yeah.
And I think Shedeur Sanders is starting by this time. I think Joe Flacco is either injured, knock on wood. I hope that's not the case. I don't see it in Dylan Gabriel whatsoever. I don't understand what the hype is about him.
Just he was in the 3rd round, and the people who don't like Shedeur are hyping up Dylan.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't like Shedeur either. Right. But
it's political though. It's disgusting, really.
It is. It really is. So I think he's playing, right? And I think
Shedeur's playing,
their biggest problem, and that's why we get the win. They re-signed Myles Garrett, who that was a roller coaster in and of itself, right? I don't want to be here. They've disappointed me. They've broken promises. Just kidding. I'm going to take a 4-year, $160 million deal, and I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Like, I don't believe that he's in it fully, right? Which is a big problem when you're paying your star player that kind of money and he's not fully in it. And I don't blame them. I mean, they're a dumpster fire, and they have been for many, many years. It's the Jerome Baker comeback game, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, no, I have us.
Oh yeah, Jerome Baker's on the Browns. I forgot.
Yeah. So I don't know. I have us winning 24-10. I think this is a cakewalk. I think this is the kind of game where, again, into the fourth, some of our key starters might be pulled. We might see, Quinn Ewers, who I think is going to be the backup by this time over Zach Wilson, but that kind of game.
I personally do like, I don't want to extend this too much, but I personally do like Shedeur. I think that he needed his humility moment, and I think falling from the first round to the fifth round is a hell of a humility moment.
Sure is.
He's got Jerry Jeudy, he's got Cedric Tillman, who I really like. I really like David Njoku. So listen, if you're a Browns fan, it's not all doom and gloom. You guys have some good pieces, especially on defense. Your defense deserves way more credit than it gets.
Look at their first two picks in the draft.
Yeah, Mason Graham, Carson Schwarzenegger, and that's
two guys that I wanted Miami to have. So I mean,
right, and that's added to a team that already had Myles Garrett, Devin Bush, Denzel Ward, Grant Delpit, Greg Newsome. Like, this is a good unit. The problem is their offense puts them in horrific positions constantly.
They're always on the field.
Or two about that.
They're always on the field. That's the problem.
Always on the field. Yeah. So Cleveland, you are building a good roster.
Yes.
We understand it more than maybe any other fan.
We feel your pain.
Just stick with it. I think Stefanski is the guy. I think he's the right guy.
He's good.
Keep on going. Yeah, keep on. They're getting there.
Don't give up. You're almost out of the Deshaun Watson circle. This is
the last year, right? Last year, $70 million if they cut him this year, but nobody has that in cap room.
No, nobody.
But I think there's a lot of hype to be had for Shedeur, and I get all the reasons that people hate him, but enough's enough. Let the kid play. Let's see what he can do. I think he said all the right things since the draft, which is all you can ask for, really.
Exactly. Yep.
On to Atlanta. In Atlanta, 2 road games in a row. We face the Falcons, who also have a young quarterback in Michael Penix Jr. Many people thought that the Dolphins should take Michael Penix Jr. in that draft because it was very similar to Tua. He could slide right into the system. Some people said he was more accurate, which is the most absurd thing I've ever heard in my life.
That's insane. No.
I am going to jump into my score here because I think that Miami has this one. I have a 27-21 score. I'll be honest, I wasn't quite sure where to put the score, but I do think Miami has a roster that can match up with Penix. But I also would be lying if I said I knew a ton about the Atlanta Falcons. Not exactly a team we face often, not a team I pay a whole lot of attention to. So I do know that Drake London is fantastic. I do know that Kyle Pitts has been disappointing, and I know that Bijan Robinson is a problem, right? So they have some tools at their disposal on offense, and this will not be an easy game. I don't think any of them are easy, to be honest. But I still have us coming away with the dub. I don't think their defense is that good. I'm a little down on their defense, so I think 27-21 is good.
Yeah, I think they added to their defense. If you look at their first, 4 picks, that tells you how worried they were about the defense, right?
Yeah.
Jalen Walker, linebacker out of Georgia in round 1. Their second, they traded up back into the first round, I believe, to get James Pierce Jr. Out of Tennessee.
That's right.
Then they picked Xavier Watts, the safety, and then they doubled down with Billy Bowman, who was one of my kind of man crushes.
I loved him, dude.
I loved him. He's so good. So, I mean, they stocked their defense, right? I think, again, you have to be careful because they're rookies, right? I don't care how talented they are. They're going to be rookies until the end of the season. They're going to make bonehead moves. It happens no matter how, with the first overall pick all the way down to Mr. Irrelevant. They do have pieces, and you alluded to some of them: Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Michael Penix, who I'm a fan of. But I haven't seen enough of Penix to know what, because I watched his games because he's on a couple of my fantasy teams from last year, mainly one of my big dynasty leagues. And he didn't play most of the year. Then he got in, and he had really good games, and he had really games, right? Yeah. He and Finspin, it took the words literally right out of my mouth. He holds on to the ball way too long. And when you have our front seven with the speed and the discipline and the knowledge of how to play the game, because they're all really good veterans outside of some of the rookies that are on our defensive line, we're going to cause problems. We're going to be in the backfield a lot. We're going to be around the quarterback a lot. We're going to be swiping at his hands a lot early and often. And I think that's going to lead us to a victory at 27-17.
Yeah. They have a lot of young pieces that I love this phrase, and some people are probably tired of it. They don't know any better than to win games that they shouldn't win.
Yeah, that's fair.
Right. That's fair. And I think Drake London is one of the best wide receivers in the NFL.
He's so good. Yeah.
Given that we don't have any corners, that worries me a little.
Yeah. I mean, that's when Minka, you're covering Drake London. Yeah. Figure it out.
Yeah. BA Lock says that Atlanta will be a tough team to beat. Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah.
100%.
Well, we finally get to go home in week 9. Not exactly a team that you're really excited to go home and face, though, with the Baltimore Ravens coming to Miami.
Dude.
Thursday night primetime. Why do we have so many primetime games? Are we going to be good? I have no idea. But we get the Ravens coming to town in primetime. Now, I know that one of the greatest games I have seen Tua play in his NFL career.
He's outside of Denver, right? Second greatest game he ever played.
I think it's better than Denver.
I don't. Dude, you put up 70-something points.
We didn't. He didn't. We kept running the ball to try to run out the clock, and everybody kept scoring. Right. I think head-to-head against Lamar Jackson, when the pressure was on, they scored. They went tit for tat with us on scores. It was back forth like a freaking tennis match, and we came out on top against the Baltimore Ravens. That was Tua's greatest game he has played in the NFL.
Was it 4 touchdowns in the fourth quarter? Was that what it was?
Yeah. It was an insane game. That was the Tua I was hoping we were going to get for the rest of time. Of course, that didn't happen. But Baltimore Ravens are tough. Week 9, we have the Dolphins sitting at 7-2 at this point.
Jeez.
I have us losing kind of in a blowout fashion, man. 17-35. I don't think we have the unit this year to go toe-to-toe with a Baltimore team.
Yeah. I say, geez, like I have us winning. I don't. I have us losing as well. 21-37. I think it's a little bit closer. For a lot of the reasons you said, I think Tua, assuming he's healthy and assuming we don't have any crazy injuries, I think we have a team that can hang on for dear life for getting into maybe the third quarter, and then the wheels come off because we've blown everything we could to try to keep up with this juggernaut of a team. Not having corners against a scrambling quarterback like Lamar Jackson is terrifying. I think, to your point, this might be the second time where we run almost exclusively 3 safeties because those are the best 3 of the 5 best DBs that we have on our team are in our safety room. And some of the best tacklers. So, we'll see. I don't like not having any corners against Derrick Henry either.
And they were gifted Malachi Starks, by the way, in the draft.
Yeah.
Which I just feel like they're gifted somebody good every single year. They just sit back there at like 27 and they're like, just come to me.
As a Miami Heat fan, it's how the Ravens are the Miami Heat of the NFL draft, where Miami usually is in the mid to late 20s, sometimes in the late teens, and we sit there and we get somebody that was projected in the top 10 to fall to us, right? That is what the Ravens look at what they did with I'm blanking on his name, the safety that they got from Notre Dame a couple of years ago, who's their like star defensive player.
Oh yeah, Kyle Hamilton, right?
Yeah. He was he was projected to go top 5, and they just sat there and stuck and picked, and bam, there he was.
Dude,
right?
This defense isn't even fair. I'm looking at the depth chart, and it feels like one of those freaking Madden rosters that people put together. That's just
it's pretty disgusting.
They also got Jairi Alexander this year. I completely forgot about that. How do you win against this team? It doesn't make any sense.
Well, we're gonna keep it close until it's not close.
I mean, to this point, Finn's been coming with the fire today. It's a lot of games for Lamar to stay healthy, but man,
I mean, I also
can't sit here and hope that he's injured for our game.
No. I would never want that, right? As a fan of the game.
Also, I like Cooper Rush, who's their backup.
Yeah, so. Exactly. But I will say this, I don't really fully believe in, this player has a chip on his shoulder, so he's going to play better than he would have. But getting snubbed to Josh Allen for the MVP, I think he's out to prove something. He really is. And It's going to be a big season for Lamar. I think he's going to stay healthy for the majority of the season. He's going to put up insane numbers, and I actually think he's going to be the MVP of this year. So, this is going to be.
He gets no credit, and he's so good.
He's so good, dude.
People don't make sense to me. They don't. Listen, speaking of Josh Allen, though, the schedule don't get no dang easier.
Like we know what we're doing.
The schedule don't get any dang easier because we got Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills coming to town for Game 2 of the Dolphins Bills matchup.
Yikes.
I mean, come on, Lamar and Josh back to back. Who hates us? At least we're in Miami for both of them, but God, really trying to ruin the Miami nightlife at this point.
Well, we were on a good tear there, right? I mean, we were what?
We were.
One, two,
we had
three.
us at 7-2 going into week 9, and then 7-3 after week 9. And spoiler alert, I don't have us beating the Bills again. 7-4. I do think that we play them better in Miami. It's a 1 p.m. game, which is good for us because we get that home field sun advantage.
But it is later in the year. So
it's November 9th. It could still be hot. It could still be hot.
It's going to be humid. It's Miami, but not as hot.
So
not as humid.
I have us losing by 3, 24-27. I do think we just play them way better, and we have that sun advantage, which other opposing teams hate. It's like, could you just let us have something? We've been awful for 30 years.
Give us something. Right? Yeah, same. Honestly, we don't need to spend much time on this team, in my opinion. Until we beat them, and we beat them handedly, it will forever be a loss on my predictions until we prove that we can do it. So this is yet another L. We get swept by the Bills for the, 17th time in a row, it feels like. 24-31.
Yeah. Doesn't get any easier the next week, by the way. But we are going to Spain. So if you ever wanted to go to Spain and see a game, I know that you've spent some time overseas in Europe, but
many years.
I have not. So I would love to go to Spain.
Maybe we'll do a live broadcast from. No, I'm kidding.
What I do love about this is at 9:30 in the morning. We'll be the only game on TV. We get to watch it and then enjoy the rest of our day in misery because we're facing the Washington Commanders in Madrid. But I have a little surprise on this one. We disagree on the outcome. The first matchup that we disagree on the outcome, I think that Washington has a regression this year. Okay. I think that the coaching staff overperformed what they were expected to do last year. I think Jaden Daniels outperformed. I think the shifting around of the roster right now is getting a little too cute. Terry McLaurin wants out. They're talking about trading Brian Robinson Jr. just because they got this other kid in there now who they like. I think. Same name. I don't even know it. I'd have to find
Corey Crossley Merritt from running back.
Merritt. There you go. Yeah. Okay. Yep. He goes by Bill, by the way.
Figure it out now. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Why not? Whatever.
But I just think they're in for some regression this year. I do think they could potentially be a playoff team, and I think they would be good. But I also think that we could make Daniels uncomfortable enough that we could win this game. So I have us sneaking away with one of those unexpected wins where the team shows up when you don't expect them to over in Madrid. 27-21. I have us taking down the Commanders in a surprise win of the season right here.
Well, that would be amazing. I unfortunately have us losing 24-27 because
3 in a row.
I think it's a close game, but Miami doesn't travel well, right? Jaden Daniels is really good. I was a huge fan of him. I thought he was the best quarterback coming out of the draft last year. I don't know if the kind of sophomore slump is going to happen. Probably. It tends to happen more so than not, right?
Yes.
And yes, I understand. They have, they have some moving, some pieces that are unhappy in the building, right? But they have Deebo Samuel, who I still think has some left in the tank, and the way they're going to use him. If you watch preseason, they use him very similarly to the successful seasons when he was in San Francisco.
But we're talking about week 11. He ain't gonna be on the field by then.
I think you will. I do. I
do.
You
got to face him week 1 or you don't see him.
They signed Kinlaw. That's true. They signed Kinlaw. They got Von Miller. They got Michael Gallup. They have, Michael Dieter. Yay. They re-signed him.
There he is.
They got George Fant, the offensive tackle, who, okay, sure. But you look at their draft and it's very underrated with a lot of low key names, right? They got Josh
when you
Connerly.
don't have a lot of picks, people tend to give you a bad grade.
Yeah.
But
they got Josh Connerly, offensive tackle out of Oregon, who I was a big fan of. Well, not a huge fan of, but I thought was very, very good. Trey Amos, who I was a big fan of, cornerback out of Ole Miss. Lengthy, real big guy, runs fast, really cool. Jalen Lane, wide receiver out of Virginia Tech. And then their Bob, or whatever they call him, their
Bill.
running back
Yeah.
in the 7th round. And, honestly, this team last year surprised a lot of people. So I'll be real curious to see now that teams have a full year of tape on what is the majority of their team coming back, assuming they keep McLaren and everyone else. Defensive coordinators can key on some of their faults. So I do think, to your point, they're going to have a regression. I just know Miami doesn't travel well. We never have. And I think we lose a close one, but it's still a loss, 24-27.
Hey, I mean, they also, on top of having Michael Dieter, they have Duke Riley and Noah Igbenogany. So,
hey, Noah, dude, don't crap on Noah. He had
just
a hell of a year last year.
Just target Noah. I'm telling you, man, it's a mirage. It was fake.
I'll be honest with you. I'll take Noah over just about every damn cornerback.
Well, we don't have anybody right now. Yeah, we don't.
I mean, so we're shitting on a guy that we're like, yeah, he'd be our number one.
I would call that bluff every time, though. I would call that bluff every time. I would throw right at him.
Of course, he's going against a very good wide receiving core, who I think we are like 5 strong. So, I mean, that's why I think it's close. Again, it's the same thing. Our cornerbacks are concerning.
I get it.
You know what I mean?
Like, I don't know, man. Something about this. Like, the sophomore slump is very real. We've seen it like 6 years in a row now, where amazing rookie seasons come crashing back down to earth. I think their defense is old. If you look at the names on here, they have a lot of gravitas because their names are huge, but these are guys all in their early to mid 30s. Yeah. I think if you line Tyreek Hill on Noah, be like, hey, Tyreek, go out there, find Noah, right?
And line
up across from him.
Run past him.
Right. Noah's not stopping Tyreek. I know he had a great year last year. I'll give the man his due. He gets his credit for having a good year. But according to our lads, at least, Trey Amos was just drafted and already took over that starting spot. So I don't know.
Oh, he's good, dude. He's good. And again, we're talking about slumps and injuries. I mean, we deal with the same thing, right? So it's hard because you don't want to. There's no way for us to know who's going to be hurt, right?
We're getting late in the year. There's going to be injuries. Right. I doubt Debo plays in this. I mean, just because as a Debo owner in fantasy for like the last 6 years, I know he doesn't play half the year. So maybe it'll be different in Washington. They seem to have some magic freaking juice or something over there. Yeah. And to this point, make a plan to stop them. All right, we have a bye in week 12, my dude. Late season bye.
We win. That's a W. We win.
It's a win. That's a win. I love the late season bye, though, especially if we lose 3 straight. Like you're predicting, what better way to get back in it than to take a bye week off and then come back in and play against the New Orleans Saints, who look like an absolute dumpster fire. Not a fan of the coach. I am not a fan of the quarterback situation. I am not a fan of just about any of their positions that they're about to put out on the field. Now, I was a Tyler Shuck fan, to be honest.
Same here.
I think that he should get the start. I think he should be allowed to go out there and see what he can do. But so far, preseason, if preseason is any indication of how a team is going to be, which it often is not, I think that this is a blowout. Again, I don't like predicting blowouts, but the Saints are looking like a team that's going to struggle to get a single win. I have us going 38-10 in this one.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say other than I do like their draft a lot, right? I mean, they had 437 picks, I feel like, right? But they got
I don't think you're right. I think it's more than that.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'm looking at their draft right now and I'm like, Jesus, I have to keep scrolling. Gee. But you look at just their top couple picks. Calvin Banks Jr. We both were fans of his. Or maybe I was more so than
I love him. Yeah, I love him.
Tyler Shuck. I like Tyler Shuck. I really do.
Bad situation for him, but I like him too. Yeah.
Bad situation early. If he can stay put and they don't give up on him too fast, I think he can turn into a very, very, not very good quarterback, but a decent starter, right?
He just needs to show enough,
I think their best pick, in my opinion, is, and I can't believe he made this team, Danny Stutzman. I wanted him so bad. Linebacker out of Oklahoma. Dude. Yeah, he's a Luke Kuechly, in my opinion, type player. I'm not saying he will be that good, but that is the type of talent that he has. And if he can put it together up here and get used to the speed of the NFL, this dude's gonna be a fucking problem. Pardon my French.
He was like our off-season love child. Like,
my goodness, dude.
Absolute. Danny Stutzman is just so he's so much fun. He's such an aggressive player. I would have loved for us to get him. We didn't have a fourth-round pick, but I talked about
Stutzman. I talked about Stutzman like I do my wife, right? Stars in my eyes, hearts above the eyes, right? Like he's a a good player.
He's going to be good. Fourth round
yeah.
is egregious. He's going to be way better than that.
Unbelievable. Yeah. See, I feel like that, like about us with Phillips and Ollie Gordon, right? They got a steal in round 4. I too think coming off a bye, we're at home, we're pissed. And if my schedule predictions are come true, we're coming off 3 straight losses. I think this is a blowout. 48-17 in my opinion, and 17 was generous.
To Spin's point, we might have Darren Waller might be playing by week 13. You never know.
Cool.
Who cares? Right,
yeah.
Moving on.
But I do like Alvin. I think Alvin Kamar's going to have a bounce back year this year.
He's fantastic. Yeah.
He's fantastic.
I'm sorry. I said I didn't like anybody on the team. That's a lie. I like Alvin.
Yeah. And I do like Rashid Shaheed, whatever his name is. The wide receiver. I think he's their number 1.
Receiving core is a little underrated. I think Olave can be good.
Sure.
I think Shaheed is very good. And they signed that kid Vele from the Broncos, who I really liked.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think the Broncos receiving core just had too much talent on it. He couldn't crack it there. But I think he could be a nice addition there. Yeah.
Well, this is a feel good. This is a get right feel good game in my opinion.
Let's hope so. That's a game we freaking lose most days.
And we go on a little run based on my predictions, which is nice. So.
Not based on mine though. So at this point, I don't even know what the heck the records are. 7-4, 8-4, 9-4, and you had 1 additional loss. So I have 9-4. You have 8-5 up to this point, I believe, if I'm counting that correctly.
3, 4,
you can
5,
you can
6,
correct me as I introduce
7.
the next team, which is the New York Jets. Week 14, we travel up to the Meadowlands to play the New Jersey Jets, I should say, because they don't play in New York, and I don't know what that's all about. The Meadowlands, the worst stadium in the league, by the way. And so the Jets come to town. We defeated them, according to you and I, in week 4 on Monday Night Football. We took them down. Now we're in week 14, 10 weeks later. We get to face them again in regular time, no prime time this week, in New Jersey. We differ on this one again. I am of the opinion that we are going to split with them this year, and I have us losing in tragic fashion, 28-24. I'm talking like tragic. I'm talking like it's a kickoff return for a touchdown in the closing seconds, and we're just like, what the hell?
If we lose to the Jets, fire everyone, right?
Well, they need to be fired anyways. But
okay, that's a whole nother show. Stay tuned, folks. This is a win for me, 27-10. I think our defense shows up, especially after a feel-good just trouncing of the Saints, right? I think our entire team, more specifically the defense, but our offense was also feeling themselves. Coming in with their, thinking their crap doesn't stink. And it's the Jets. Again, for those of you that watched the show, even though we're still new, for those of you that followed us on our last adventure, you guys know I'm not a fan of the Jets. I never will be, ever. So this is a dub.
We've already talked too much about the Jets. Let's move on. Monday Night Football against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh.
Dude, I'm excited for this game.
This is a huge game, and this is going to be a really fun game. But this is also a nerve-wracking game because it's in Pittsburgh in December, and we're playing in the cold, and we're the Miami Dolphins, and we don't win in the cold. Although if Tyreek Hill learned how to catch, we at least have a chance against Kansas City in that freaking blizzard.
Dropped 2 touchdowns.
Absolutely absurd. Yeah. So Monday night, Pittsburgh Steelers. Minka going back. We get to face off against Jalen Ramsey and Jonnu Smith, who we traded up for Minka. Oh, baby. Their quarterback position is not good. So I have us winning this because of it. 17-14. I still think it's tight. I think it's a close game.
Yeah.
I think it's a low-scoring game because it's freaking cold and our boys are used to the warm weather. So I have a 17-14 victory against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, I think I have us winning as well, 21-17. I think it is a close game. It's a gritty win, in a very hostile stadium, right? Yep. Both from a weather standpoint and a fan standpoint. And let's be honest, no matter how bad the Pittsburgh Steelers seem, they're always really good. Yep. So I don't, this is going to be a close game. Jalen Ramsey may be on the field, maybe he won't be. I don't know. Maybe he'll be on another team. Who the hell knows? I think Minka Fitzpatrick. At least I think Minka Fitzpatrick is going to have a Minka Fitzpatrick come to Jesus moment. Kind of, you shouldn't have traded me. Yeah, I'm about to show you why I was the best, one of your best, your second best player outside of TJ Watt on your defense. This is going to be a good game, but I have us winning just like you.
I'll be honest. My concern is Aaron Rodgers. We do not play well against Aaron Rodgers. I mean,
I don't think he'll be playing.
That's the thing. I just don't know that he'll still be playing by this point. And we said that against the Jets, but like he just come back for that game in week 18 or week 17 to play against us?
He came back the week before, right?
Right,
And
but like it
we
was
were
recent.
a dumpster fire.
Rodgers just has our number. I mean, every time we face him, it seems like we're getting destroyed. But I just think that either one, he won't be playing, or he just won't have that great of a season. So I'm hopeful. That's why I have the score so close as well. I think that it's going to be a tight game. It's a flip-flop game either way.
Yep.
We get to face our division rival the next week, by the way, BT Dubs. Awesome. Cincinnati Bengals are coming to town in week 16.
You're muted. Nope.
Hello?
So there you are. I hear you. Stop moving your mic.
Okay.
We're good.
I don't know what happened.
We're
Connection
good.
issues. All right. So
hold on.
Week
Take
16. Yeah. All right. Week 16, we get to face off against the Cincinnati Bengals in Miami, 8:20 p.m. on a Sunday. Sunday night football, dude. Yeah. Is that 5? I think that's the 5th primetime game of the year if you don't count Madrid, which then it makes it 6.
And back-to-back again. Just 2 back-to-back primetime.
2 back-to-back primetime games. Jesus. Listen, the Cincinnati Bengals, if I'm being completely honest, are my favorite team in the AFC this year. I don't think we stand a chance against this team. I think Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Chase Brown are freaking fantastic. Mike Gesicki's having a resurgence over there, although I think they're hoping that they don't need him as much because last year they needed him because T. Higgins was out. They continue to add pieces to the defense to try to get better. I don't think they'll have Trey Hendrickson. I think he's getting shipped off somewhere, or he just won't play.
Shameful.
Yeah, shameful. This organization sucks, and I hope they don't win the Super Bowl just until their owner sells them because he's such a piece of never mind. But I think that Cincinnati is a top 3 team in the league. I think it's the top team in the AFC this year. I just think they are incredibly talented, and we don't stand a chance. 38-21, and I'll be pumped if we score 21 against them.
I am not as high on them. You know, I don't think they're the best AFC team. I think they're the number 3 AFC's team, right? I still think the Bills and why am I blanking? The Ravens.
Chiefs?
No, Ravens. Yeah. Oh yeah, Chiefs too. I mean, I don't know. Joe Burrow's good. He's great when he's healthy. And again, there it is, right? When he's healthy.
Yeah.
I have watched their preseason carefully because not to keep going back to fantasy football, but I have the number 1 overall pick in our dynasty league that you were part of, sir. It was random. I don't like the pick, but I was choosing between a couple players, one of them being Joey B. Yep. And so I've been watching a lot of his film specific and this team from the preseason, and their offensive line is still high garbage. And so I don't know, we're still going to lose in my opinion, 24-35, right? I mean, it's not a really close game, but you know, I'm not as high on the Bengals. I just think they're better than us.
At least we get to stay up late on a Sunday night and watch us get destroyed.
There you go. I love it.
I don't know what it is, man. I love Joe Burrow. I don't know. I don't know why. I just think that offense is so much fun to watch.
And gravitas. Gravitas. Yeah.
And if our offense shows up in the way that they can, this could be a real fun shootout. Both defenses stink, essentially.
Well, here, I mean, look, perfect. This was popped up earlier, I believe, but I mean, this is a perfect point, right? It's a great quarterback matchup. It really is, right? Yeah. Since college.
Absolutely. All right. That is December 21st, by the way, the week before Christmas. Merry Christmas, Dolphins fans. You get to face off on Sunday night against the freaking Bengals. Awesome. All right, let's get to the next week, and maybe we'll have a better matchup. Shit. No, we don't. Tampa Bay in Miami. It's not a better matchup for us. Baker Mayfield's having an absolute resurgence, looking like the first overall pick that he was way back when. Yeah, me too. I love Baker. I think Baker...
Same.
Baker now is so much better than Baker when he was drafted too.
For sure.
He is incredibly funny. He's incredibly likable. And he's playing incredible football for a team that I didn't think was going to be much. I got to be honest. Their coach leaves a lot to be desired in my eyes.
Yeah.
Baker, to me, had been on like 3 or 4 different teams before he finally landed in Tampa. And then like now they're playing like the 1-year contract game with him. And it's like, okay, if you're not going to commit to him, is he really that good? Or like, what's the deal here?
No, he's good. He's
He looks good. Bucky Irving was a freaking surprise last year. Pretty much chased, what is it, Rashad White or whatever that dude's name is, right out of town. They got Mike Evans. They got Chris Godwin. If both of them get hurt like they normally do, well, if Godwin gets hurt like they normally do.
He's hurt already.
Yeah. Well, they drafted Egbuka or wherever you say his name out of Ohio State.
He's going to be so good on that.
Fantastic.
Offense. I think he's wide receiver 1 already right now with Chris Godwin being injured.
Yeah. Well, Evans is the one.
Mike
Evans is 1,000 yards receiving for like 11 years straight.
I understand that.
He deserves. But
we just got done talking about older players and drop offs.
Mike Evans is not old. He's a young, spry 33 or whatever he is. So I think Cade Otton's one of the most underrated tight ends in the league too. That dude
very much so. Could not agree more.
Yeah. So I don't see us winning this. It would be awesome if we could, because I think this is another one of those games that it's like, where's the bar for the Dolphins? If we can beat Tampa here, and in December, which is a month we don't typically win in, but we're in Florida, so let's go. It's warm weather. I think this is one of those matchups in the season that tells you how good this team is, and I have us losing 17-27, sadly.
Oof. Yeah, I have us losing as well. So I said oof for no reason. So I have us, again, Bengals, Buccaneers, back-to-back losses, but I have us, it's close. And I think this is a late fourth quarter kind of touchdown deep drive by the Buccaneers. I have us losing 24-31. All of the points you said, they had a really good draft. I'm a big fan of Ibuka. I'm a big fan of their wide receiver room as a whole. Their running back room is stacked. Questionable offensive line at some places, but good overall. Baker is a stud.
Tristan Wirfs is hurt already too.
Yep.
At left tackle. Yeah.
They got Hassan Reddick, who I am personally a big fan of. Levante David, they re-signed him, who is a stud at the linebacker position, fast,
47-year-old Levante David.
But he still plays like he's 22. It's insane.
Well, I just said that about Evans, and you were like, nah, make up your mind.
No, I won't. And Chris Godwin, if he can stay healthy, I think he's on the PUP, if I'm not mistaken, already for some kind of foot or something like that. But
I did see that Godwin's expected to be back for the start, though.
Yeah, I think both him and Tristan Wirfs are expected to come off today, actually, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Yeah. It was. I knew it was soon. I just couldn't remember when, so I didn't want to say.
But yeah, no, this is back-to-back losses to the Bengals and the Bucs.
Yeah, but how sweet would it be if we won this one?
It would be absolutely.
I honestly incredible. Because I feel like there's a chance we could win this. Like, I look at the Bengals and the Ravens and the Bills. I'm like, I don't really expect this. Like, but I think we could win this one. I think these teams match up pretty evenly. It would be such a sweet post-Christmas present to win this against Tampa.
It genuinely would, right? And the way in my brain how I was scoring this was that it's tied going like, we score to tie it up 24-24 with like a minute and a half left.
Yeah.
And then it's just chunk play, big run, chunk play, touchdown, right? And we can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That was week 17, final game of the season. Here we come. Last 2 weeks, I have us losing to the Bengals and Buccaneers, as does Josh. Can they get off the hide in week 18? This could potentially be to make the playoffs. It's a situation we are all too familiar with. Win and you're in. Couldn't do it last year, and we had like 3 chances.
Tennessee. Yeah.
Right. The year before, we lose to Tennessee, and that was to win the division. And it was quarterbacked by Will Levis. It's not like we were talking about the reincarnation of Steve Young over here. Steve McNair. Sorry. I don't mean to disrespect Aaron McNair, but Steve Young was good too. We face the New England Patriots in the final week of the year up in Foxborough. It's going to be freaking cold. It's January 4th. It's always cold. We live up here. We know it. So it's going to be cold. New England does not have a dome, so it will be whatever it's doing, and it's going to happen. If it's snowing, if it's raining, if it's sleeting, it's going to be on the field.
It will be snowing. Yes, it will.
This is win, and the way at least you and I both see this coming out, we are 9-7 going into this game.
Both of us.
Yes, both of us.
Yeah.
Both of us have us at 9-7 by week 17, which means that this week 18 matchup is legitimately win, and you're likely in, right? For that 7th seed or whatever. Because the AFC is ridiculous, and you have to win 10 games to get the 7th seed.
It's so frustrating.
And we differ on the final outcome.
This is what it's about, fellas. This is what it's about. Let's do it.
I have us going to Foxborough and getting shellacked. I think we lose this by
That's
10. I
criminal.
think we have the biggest choke artist team in the entire league. I think we can't play in cold weather until you prove to me that you can. And I think that when the pressure is on and you have to win to get in, we are not going to do it. 24-14. I think we just look 14 points. We have no right only scoring 14 against the Patriots, but we did it last year against the freaking Jets. So I don't think it's any different. I think we lose and we're out of the playoffs yet again. And Mike McDaniel and Chris Greer, I hope to God you're fired, because if I have to hear another press conference saying that it's not business as usual, I'm gonna freaking lose it.
Yes. Well, I am the happier camper of the two of us, apparently. I actually think, look, again, like I said when we played them at the beginning of the season, just like the Bills, until we beat the Bills, it's always going to be a loss. Until the Patriots beat us, it's always going to be a W, because Tua is undefeated against the Pats when he plays.
Sure.
This is a 24-21, very close, but a victory nonetheless. And we're in, hopefully.
Probably not, though.
I still want everyone to be fired, but at least we made the playoffs.
They have to win a playoff. Like if they don't have to win a playoff game to keep their jobs, what are we even doing? It's year 4, man.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
what are we doing?
Yeah.
You've had the roster for 4 years.
I've predicted us to win our first playoff game in God knows how long, 20 plus years or whatever.
And this crap, I can't even listen to our coach speak anymore. I want to throw up.
I don't
listen to any of the press conferences. Yeah,
I can't. I read the recaps.
Yeah. The first year it was funny. The second year it was annoying. The third year I wanted to kill him.
Yeah. Yeah. It's painful. It's like nails on a chalkboard.
It's like listening to a kid learning how to speak for the first time.
Yeah. What's really weird though is that when you hear him talking without thinking, when he's like, when somebody asks him a football question, he sounds normal.
Yeah. Yeah,
he doesn't stumble. He doesn't
speed up the. How does it work like a charm? I'd be able to understand him even less.
I love this. I love that. Honestly, I don't know. He's just in his head, right? And it's frustrating to listen to. It really is. But I have us winning not only against the Patriots, but since we're not doing any kind of predictions for the playoffs, I do have us winning our first playoff game in, my lifetime.
Who's it against? Vegas?
I don't know. Fuck if I know. I have no idea. I didn't do the NFL predictions yet.
Pick a random team.
Kansas City.
I'm going to say Vegas.
Kansas City. We beat the Bills in the playoffs, which I can tell you this will probably be our luck that
we would be the 7th seed. Yeah. So we'd face the 2nd seed, which is likely either Kansas City, Buffalo, or Baltimore.
Yeah. So maybe we don't.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, so Josh has us going 10-7 and potentially squeezing in as the 7th team in the playoff seeding. I have us again losing our last 3 games of the year. As we were 9-5, we lose out to 9-8, and we miss out on the playoffs yet again. And with any freaking luck in the universe, this coaching staff and this GM staff are all finally let go. And I'm sorry, because there's real people losing their jobs, but enough is enough. And FinSpin is at 13-4 because I think he's insane. Maybe he's insane.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I'm not
big shout out though,
but because I was
Sorry, big shout out to FinSpin. Big shout out to BA Lockeye. Balakai. However you say your name. Is it Balakai? I have no idea. Okay, so big shout out to you two for joining us. It's so much fun having you guys here with us. This has been an amazing show where we broke down for you the 2025 Miami Dolphins schedule and with complete and total accuracy told 100%. You which games we were going to win and which games we were going to lose.
Except for the last one.
We were so accurate that we came up with different records.
Yeah. You're welcome, everyone.
I don't know. Health will be a factor as always, as Baylock says, but that's every team in the NFL, boys. That's every team in the NFL. How will the next man up mentality work this year when eventually Waddle goes down? I'm surprised he's not down already. Or Tua or whatever. Hopefully
Tua.
Put
that bad juju on us, buddy. It is way too early for us to be this jaded.
Way too early. So let me stop talking before I do any other bad juju for us here. Josh, any final words before we take off and we watch our final preseason game of 2025 against, I forget who, the Jaguars. Jacksonville. Yep.
Yeah, no, just really wanted to really appreciate the guys that joined us, the guys and or girls, sorry, I shouldn't assume, in the chat that joined us. We're still a new channel. We appreciate any live views, any likes and subscribes, any comments. Please let us know what your thoughts, right? What do you think game by game, quarter by quarter, or season overall? How close were we? How wrong were we? We love it all. We comment on it all. We will respond to you. Really appreciate each and every one of you for trusting us, for coming to see us on a week-to-week basis, and look forward to doing it again soon.
Please give us legitimate feedback too. I love feedback. This is our first time doing a lot of this stuff, especially the YouTube shorts. So watch a few of them. I keep them all 60 seconds or less, and just let us know. Like, any good? Are they crap? I don't care. Just make a comment and let us know how they are. Also, let us know what your predictions are for the 2025 Miami Dolphins. Do you have us going 13-4 like FinSpin, or are you more on the 9-8 side like myself? Can't wait to see what you guys think in the comments below. We will be back on Monday to give you our reactions to the final preseason game of 2025, where we face off against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't think there will be any starters. At least I hope not.
They actually said a lot of starters are going to play.
That is absurd. Okay. Anyways, we'll talk about that and any injuries that happen, because it's an absurdity. But yeah, thank you all for joining us tonight. This has been the 305 Gridiron. I'm Anthony Pinzone. That is Josh, a.k.a. Aqua Ace. And until Monday, you have yourselves a fantastic weekend. Enjoy the game, and we'll talk to you later.